Firing squad. Port. Arm. Firing position. 2. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Resume position. 2. Firing squad. Present. Arm. Detail. Order. Arm.
Thank you, Central DeWitt students, staff, and community members for joining us in this 2020 celebration of our veterans. At this time, please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing with your hand over your heart as the high school choir, under the direction of Ryan Uchek, sing the national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light, that so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red bells were singing. They moved through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
Thank you, Mr. Uchek, and your choir students for sharing your talents.
Veterans Day, initially known as Armistice Day, originated as a holiday to honor those who served in World War I. Since the fighting ceased on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of the year, November 11th was chosen as the date of remembrance. However, the United States' involvement in World War II and the Korean War was caused to extend recognition to all military personnel who served in any conflict. The Department of Veterans Affairs describes the purpose of Veterans Day as a celebration to honor Americans veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for their common good. On behalf of the school district, I want to extend our appreciation to all veterans for your service, modeling what true sacrifice is and enabling the generation to enjoy the many privileges of living in a free country. At this time, I want you to think of any individual you know who has served or is currently serving our country as a member of the United States Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, or National Guard. If you don't know a service member personally, I want to recognize some recent Central DeWitt graduates who are serving today.
Elliot Besh, National Guard. Colin Courtney, Air Force. Leah Delich, Navy. Ashley Goldensoft, National Guard. Tyler Jenkins, National Guard. Ethan Pierce, Army ROTC. Carly Small, National Guard. Joe Stanmeyer, National Guard. Hunter Swearinger, Air Force. Elise Tarchinsky, Air Force. While our soldiers served this country on the front lines, their loved ones supported them on the home front. At this time, I want to extend my gratitude to any family member of our military personnel. Your ability to manage all aspects of life for months or even years is a testament to your strength and a model for all on how to persevere and maintain hope even in the most challenging times.
This year, Central DeWitt students share their personal appreciation to our veterans through patriotic coloring sheets from Extrand and appreciative handwritten letters from the intermediate. At the middle school and high school, students and staff held fundraising competitions in which the proceeds will assist local veterans with heating costs this winter.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for how you made it possible for me to be here today.
To me, the world veterans means the battles won, the sacrifices made, and the freedom fought for us.
Without you, we don't know what the world would look like right now. Thank you for having hope and believing in our country.
You keep us safe and protect us, which is something some people could never do. You are a hero without a cape.
You have served this nation with great bravery. We thank you for what you have done for our country.
Thank you for all that you have done. You have made the world a better place for me and my family to live. Most of the time I forget that you help thousands of people every day, which most of you don't even know.
Thank you so much for your service. You have sacrificed so much for this country. It will not be the same without you.
It's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Mike Osman, who currently serves as the commander of the American Legion Post in DeWitt, president of the DeWitt Area Veterans Memorial, and Veteran Services Officer for Clinton County. Mr. Osman served in the U.S. Navy during the end of the Vietnam era for 3 years aboard the USS Lockwood as a communications electrician. He resides in DeWitt and is married with 3 children and multiple grandchildren.
Now currently we are at the American Legion Post 238 here in DeWitt. Behind me on the wall is our organization charter, which was dated October 16th of 1919. This American Legion Post was organized shortly after World War I and was one of the original American Legion posts that was organized at that time. We currently have approximately 180 paid members. We provide services to the community, and we work together with the school to provide flag raising ceremonies and football games. We do 5th grade flag essays. We do Student of the Year every year at the middle schools and St. Joe's. You'll notice in front of me here, there are 2 chairs. The blue indicates that we are missing comrades who passed away. The black indicates how we are still missing POWs and MIAs from the wars. In front of us, you'll note that the table setting is set for 1. This is set for 1, and it symbolizes the fact that the member of the armed forces are missing from our ranks. The table is small, the tablecloth is white, which symbolics the purity of our intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The rose in the vase signifies the blood that may have been shed and sacrificed for freedom. The red ribbon in the vase represents the red ribbons worn on the lapels from those family members of the missing comrades. The slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The sprinkling of salt reminds us of the tears shed by family members. The glass is inverted because the service member cannot toast at this time with us. The chair is empty because they are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope, which lives in our hearts and illuminates the way home. The American flag reminds us that many of them may never return and have paid the supreme sacrifice to ensure our freedom. Well, duty could mean a lot of different things. For me, duty was to my country, duties to my family, to my job. That's one of the reasons I went into the military. I felt that I did have a duty to serve my country, Plus, there were some training opportunities that I received while in the Navy that I probably wouldn't have gotten if I had not gone into the Navy. Voluntary service is something that's becoming kind of a rarity. We find it here, even at the American Legion, where we have 180 members, but we have a very few people that actually are consistent with volunteering their services for projects that we do. And that's the same for a lot of things, military service too. During certain eras, such as the World War II era, you had lines and lines of people that were waiting to sign up to go into the military. Today, I don't think you'll see that, but the art of volunteering anymore is, I think, has kind of gone by the wayside. Don't get me wrong, there are still a lot of great volunteers out there, and their service is absolutely essential when it comes to organizations, but sometimes it's hard to get people to volunteer. Well, some of the things I appreciate was the fact that it gave me a chance to grow up. It gave me a sense of discipline, although as a athlete in high school, you did receive some discipline through sports. But when you get into the military, discipline brought on a whole different meaning. From boot camp, where it was extremely structured, extremely disciplined. Once you get out of boot camp, you go into a school or a trade school, and that's not quite as regimented, but it is still regimented and the discipline is still there. And then the training aspect of it. I received probably more training in the Navy than I could have ever imagined. One thing that I remember is I went to electronics school, and they told us all that if you haven't had algebra for a while, you might want to take the refresher course because it will help you and you will need it. So I took the refresher course, and I was very glad that I did, because that was one thing that was extremely important when you go through electronics school. So the military service gave you really everything you needed. I was aboard ship for 3 years. That was our home away from home. 3 meals a day, a paycheck and training, and life was good. What I have learned having served, one of the, some of the important takeaways that I have come to respect is that life in this country is much different than life in other countries. Because I've been to other countries, I've seen the poorest of the poor. I've seen the most poverty-ridden countries that I hope some of you students never see, but it unfortunately is there. Our life in this United States is a lot different than some of the countries that I've seen. We have learned to have 3 meals a day, some of us. We have a roof over our head, and we have families that help us through times, where in other countries they may not have that. They may not have a roof over their head. So you learn to respect this country, you learn to honor your elders, especially people that came before us, and you learn to appreciate what we have a lot more after you've been in the military and you've been to other countries and you've seen the way some of the other people live. So on this Veterans Day, we wish to have any of you who runs across or meets a veteran simply say thank you for your service. It means much more to them than you'll ever know. Our flag means much more to an American service person than you will ever know. Thank you for having us today, and have a good Veterans Day.
Thank you, Mr. Osmond, for your inspiring words and for upholding the valued soldiers who have served before you and those who will follow in your steps. They embody what true patriotism, service, and leadership looks like as well. For our final musical piece, the high school band will present Fairest of the Fair by John Philip Sosa under the direction of Mr. Josh Grubel. Please quietly rise out of respect as the color guard retires the flags.
Detail. Port. Arm. Flag. Left. Face. Firing squad. Left. Face. Detail. Forward. March.
Thank you for participating in today's celebration of our military personnel. Wherever life take you, may God bless you and your family, may God bless our troops both at home and abroad, and may God bless America.